Papoose, you have my lawyer's information. If you can't afford to retain a lawyer, since your lawyer that the number you gave us has not been retained yet, I told you I'll pay for it. If somebody over there that loves you wants to pay for it, great. That will make me happy. Everything is signed and ready to go. I don't want nothing. I'm not even asking for child support. My daughter's school, her babysitter, her nanny, her gymnastics, her swimming, her dancing, her healthcare, her all of that. I take care of it like I've always done. I don't need anything.
I just like to express this one thing. All these girls be like, thank you to my man. And I want to say, to my hands, thank you to my hands. To my hands, thank you to my hands. Listen, from me knowing how to fight and me training hard, I make millions of dollars just from beating people up. So, to my hands, thank you to my hands. To my hands, thank you to my hands.
Nobody expected the strongest woman in boxing to end up in the middle of one of the messiest love triangles on the internet. But that's exactly what seems to be happening with Claressa Shields, Papoose, and Remy Ma. For months, Claressa Shields proudly showed off her relationship with Papoose. She called him supportive, loyal, and even described being with him as the cheat code to life. Everywhere she went, he seemed to be right there beside her. Events, interviews, and social media posts that made it look like they were the perfect couple. Fans started believing this was the beginning of a powerful new celebrity romance. But there was one problem people couldn't ignore. Papoose was still legally married to Remy Ma. At first, Claressa brushed off the criticism and made it clear she wasn't worried about anyone's opinion. She insisted that the past was the past and that everyone had moved on. But recently, the internet started noticing things that didn't add up. Missing holiday appearances, strange social media moments, and rumors that Papoose might not be as committed as everyone thought. Now people are asking a serious question. Did Claressa Shields fall for a fantasy? Or was she actually played while Papoose and Remy Ma quietly handled things behind the scenes? Because if the rumors are true, the story might be a lot deeper and a lot more complicated than anyone expected. The internet has been watching this situation unfold for months, and the more people look at it, the more complicated the story between Claressa Shields, Papoose, and Remy Ma seems to become. At first, the relationship between Claressa Shields and Papoose looked like something straight out of a success story. Claressa is known around the world for being one of the most dominant fighters in boxing. She built her reputation through discipline, confidence, and the ability to stand her ground in any situation. Fans admire her not only for her championships, but also for her fearless personality. So when she started publicly praising Papoose and talking about how supportive he was, many people were surprised, but also curious. Claressa didn't hide her feelings at all. In several interviews and social media moments, she spoke openly about how much she respected him. She described him as a man who treated her well, supported her career, and spoke to her in a way she hadn't experienced before. According to her, the relationship brought a different kind of energy into her life. She made it clear that she admired how Papoose carried himself and how he showed up for her. But the moment people heard Papoose's name connected to Claressa Shields, the conversation immediately shifted to one major detail that nobody could ignore. Papoose is still married to Remy Ma. For years, Papoose and Remy Ma were considered one of hip-hop's strongest couples. Their relationship became famous because of the loyalty they showed each other. When Remy Ma went through serious legal troubles years ago, Papoose stayed by her side and continued supporting her while she was away. When she returned, the two continued building their life together, appearing in interviews, reality shows, and public events that highlighted their bond. Because of that history, many fans viewed their marriage as one of the rare examples of long-term loyalty in the entertainment industry. So when rumors started spreading that Papoose might be involved with Claressa Shields, people were confused. Some believed the marriage between Papoose and Remy Ma had quietly ended. Others thought the situation might simply be a misunderstanding. But once Claressa began publicly appearing with Papoose, it became clear that something serious was happening. The two were seen together at events, and their chemistry seemed obvious. Whenever Claressa showed up somewhere, fans noticed that Papoose wasn't far behind. They appeared comfortable together, laughing, talking, and moving around like a couple that had already built a strong connection. At that point, the internet started debating what the real situation was. Some people defended Claressa Shields. They argued that if Papoose and Remy Ma were separated, then Claressa had every right to move forward with a relationship. Relationships end all the time, and just because two people are still legally married doesn't always mean they are still emotionally together. But others were not convinced. They pointed out that there had been no official divorce announcement between Papoose and Remy Ma. As far as the public knew, they were still legally husband and wife. That alone made the situation feel messy to many observers. Despite the criticism, Claressa Shields didn't appear bothered by the online conversations. In fact, she often spoke confidently about her relationship with Papoose. She made it clear that she respected him deeply and felt that he respected her just as much. At one point, she even explained that his support meant a lot to her because it was different from what she had experienced in previous relationships. According to Claressa, the way he communicated with her and showed encouragement gave her a sense of comfort and stability. For a while, it seemed like the couple didn't care what anyone thought. They continued appearing together publicly, and their bond looked strong. Fans who supported them started saying that people needed to mind their own business and let adults live their lives. But then things started to get more complicated. The tension between Claressa Shields and Remy Ma slowly began creeping into the conversation. Even though Remy Ma wasn't constantly speaking about the situation, her presence was always part of the story because of her marriage to Papoose. From the outside, it looked like two very strong personalities were now connected through the same man. Claressa Shields is known for her confidence and competitive mindset. In the boxing ring, she has built a reputation as someone who refuses to back down from any opponent. That same energy often shows up in her public persona as well. Remy Ma, on the other hand, has spent decades in the hip-hop industry and is also known for being outspoken and unafraid of confrontation. When two individuals with those kinds of personalities are connected to the same situation, it almost guarantees that the public will pay attention. And the internet definitely did. People began analyzing every interview, every social media clip, and every appearance involving the three of them. Fans tried to read between the lines, looking for clues about what was really happening behind the scenes. One moment that caught a lot of attention happened during a radio interview when Papoose appeared on The Breakfast Club. The interview was originally expected to focus on his music and career, but once the conversation shifted toward his personal life, the atmosphere changed. Claressa Shields was present during the interview, and when questions about Remy Ma came up, she didn't stay quiet. Instead, she joined the discussion and made it clear that she believed the past relationship between Papoose and Remy Ma was already behind them. She suggested that people were focusing on old issues and that everyone involved had already moved on. In her view, there was no reason for the public to keep bringing up the past. But viewers watching the interview noticed something interesting. While Claressa spoke confidently, some people felt that Papoose's body language seemed a little uncomfortable. He didn't always jump into the conversation the same way she did, and that small detail quickly became a topic of discussion online. Of course, body language can be interpreted in many different ways. It doesn't automatically mean anything negative. But once the internet begins analyzing small moments like that, the speculation can spread very quickly. Still, Claressa Shields remained firm in her position. She continued showing support for Papoose and speaking positively about their relationship. From her perspective, there was no reason to doubt what they had built together. However, the public wasn't ready to drop the story just yet. Because even though Claressa appeared confident, there was still one question that people kept asking over and over again. If everything was truly settled, why was Papoose still legally married to Remy Ma? That single question continued to follow the situation everywhere it went, and eventually, new moments began appearing that made the internet even more curious about what was really going on behind closed doors. And as time went on, people started noticing details that didn't quite match the perfect image that had been presented to the world. As the months went by, the attention around Claressa Shields, Papoose, and Remy Ma only grew stronger. What initially looked like a new celebrity relationship slowly started turning into one of the most talked-about situations on social media. At first, Claressa Shields appeared completely confident about where things stood. She wasn't hiding her relationship with Papoose at all. In fact, she seemed proud of it. Whenever the topic came up, she spoke about him with admiration and often highlighted how supportive he was of her boxing career. For someone like Claressa, who had spent most of her life focused on training and competition, having a partner who showed up for her fights and celebrated her achievements seemed meaningful. She made it clear that Papoose encouraged her and respected the hard work she put into becoming one of the top fighters in the sport. Fans noticed that he was frequently present whenever Claressa had an event or appearance. Whether it was an interview, a public function, or something related to boxing, Papoose seemed to be close by. To some people, it looked like a relationship built on strong support. But while Claressa continued presenting the relationship as something positive, the internet kept paying attention to one important detail. The connection to Remy Ma had never fully disappeared. For years, Remy Ma and Papoose had built a reputation as one of hip-hop's most loyal couples. Their story had been shared in interviews, television appearances, and countless public moments. Because of that history, many fans still associated the two of them together. So every time Claressa Shields publicly celebrated her relationship with Papoose, people inevitably brought up Remy Ma again. At first, Remy Ma didn't appear to directly engage with the conversation. She continued posting her own content, appearing at events, and focusing on her own life. From the outside, it seemed like she was not interested in fueling the drama. But silence on the internet often leads to even more speculation. Fans started comparing the public appearances of both women. If Remy Ma posted something online, people immediately began analyzing it for hidden messages. If Claressa Shields shared something about her relationship, the comment sections quickly filled with references to Remy Ma. What might have been a private situation between three adults slowly became a public debate across social media. Then things became even more intense when fans began noticing small moments that didn't quite fit the narrative everyone had been hearing. One example came during the holiday season. For many couples, holidays are a time when relationships are especially visible. People post photos together, celebrate traditions, and spend time with family. That's why some fans were surprised when Claressa Shields and Papoose didn't appear to spend certain holiday moments together publicly. Around the same time, clips started circulating online showing Remy Ma out shopping and enjoying the holiday season. In one particular video, she appeared relaxed and confident while browsing stores. What caught people's attention wasn't just the shopping trip itself, but something subtle in the background. Some viewers believed they heard a voice that sounded very similar to Papoose. Now, it's important to remember that social media speculation can easily get out of control. Hearing a voice in a clip doesn't necessarily confirm anything, but once that theory started spreading online, thousands of people began discussing it. Suddenly, the conversation shifted again. If Papoose was spending time around Remy Ma during the holidays, people wondered what that meant for his relationship with Claressa Shields. At the same time, Claressa was also active on social media. She posted content showing that she was enjoying her own holiday season and doing well. In some clips, she displayed luxury shopping bags and talked about treating herself. She explained that she didn't need anyone to buy things for her because she had worked hard to achieve financial success on her own. That message resonated with many of her supporters. Claressa Shields has always been proud of her independence and the fact that she built her career through dedication and discipline. As a world-class athlete, she earned her success through years of training and sacrifice. But even those posts didn't stop the internet from continuing to speculate. Some people began comparing the timing of different posts and videos. Others started analyzing whether certain gifts or purchases were connected to Papoose, or whether Claressa had simply bought them herself. The conversation quickly turned into a wave of online theories. Some fans defended Claressa strongly. They argued that people were unfairly trying to create drama around her relationship. In their view, Claressa had every right to live her life and didn't owe the public an explanation for her personal choices. Others felt differently. They believed the situation looked confusing and thought that Papoose might still be closely connected to Remy Ma behind the scenes. Since the marriage between Papoose and Remy Ma had never officially ended in the public eye, many observers found it difficult to understand the full picture. Through all of this, one thing became clear. The relationship between Claressa Shields and Papoose had become one of the most discussed celebrity topics online. Every interview, every social media post, and every public appearance was now being examined by thousands of viewers looking for clues about what was really happening. And the pressure that comes with that level of public attention can be enormous. Celebrities often try to maintain a strong image in front of the world, but the internet has a way of turning small details into major headlines. For Claressa Shields, someone who had spent her career dominating inside the boxing ring, this kind of personal scrutiny was a very different challenge. In sports, success is measured by clear outcomes. You win a match or you lose it. Your achievements are recorded through championships, rankings, and statistics. But in the world of public relationships, things are far less clear. Rumors spread quickly, opinions form instantly, and narratives can shift overnight. As the speculation around Claressa Shields, Papoose, and Remy Ma continued growing, some fans began wondering whether the situation would eventually reach a breaking point. Because the longer the rumors continued, the more people started asking a simple question. Was this relationship really as strong as it appeared? Or were there details behind the scenes that the public hadn't seen yet? And if the truth eventually came out, it could completely change the way people understood the entire situation. By this point, the story surrounding Claressa Shields, Papoose, and Remy Ma had grown far beyond a simple celebrity relationship rumor. What started as curiosity had turned into a full internet discussion where everyone seemed to have their own opinion about what was really happening behind the scenes. For Claressa Shields, the situation became more complicated the more people talked about it. As one of the most dominant fighters in modern boxing, she was used to dealing with pressure, criticism, and intense competition. But public relationship drama is a completely different type of spotlight. In sports, everything is straightforward. You step into the ring, you fight, and the result speaks for itself. Outside the ring, however, things are not always that simple. Rumors, opinions, and speculation can move faster than facts. As fans kept analyzing the situation, many started paying closer attention to how each person involved was behaving publicly. Claressa continued posting on social media and showing confidence in her life and career. She shared moments from training, talked about upcoming fights, and occasionally gave glimpses into her personal life. From her perspective, she appeared focused and unbothered. But online audiences tend to read deeper into every detail. If a celebrity posts something happy, people assume everything is perfect. If they appear quiet for a few days, suddenly the internet starts wondering if something is wrong. That same pattern started happening in this situation. Some followers began suggesting that Claressa might have been more emotionally invested in the relationship than people realized. Others argued that Papoose may have been trying to balance complicated circumstances involving his long-standing marriage with Remy Ma. Because the truth is, relationships connected to long histories rarely untangle overnight. Papoose and Remy Ma had built a public story together that stretched back many years. Their loyalty to each other had been praised across the hip-hop community. When people think of their relationship, they remember the time when Papoose stood beside Remy Ma during some of the most difficult years of her life. That type of history is not something that disappears easily. Even if two people decide to go separate ways emotionally, the legal, family, and personal ties can remain complicated for a long time. For outsiders watching through social media, those details are often invisible. That's why so many observers kept questioning what the real situation was. Was Papoose truly moving forward with Claressa Shields, or was he still trying to figure out the future of his marriage with Remy Ma? At the same time, fans of Claressa Shields began defending her more strongly. They reminded people that she had built her career from the ground up and didn't need anyone to validate her success. She is a two-time Olympic champion and one of the most accomplished athletes in boxing history. Her supporters argued that focusing only on her relationship ignored everything she had achieved through years of discipline and dedication. Still, the internet tends to focus on drama more than accomplishments. As discussions continued, some commentators suggested that the entire situation might simply be a misunderstanding, amplified by social media. Others believed that there could be private conversations happening behind the scenes that the public would never fully understand. In celebrity culture, it's very common for the audience to only see small pieces of a much larger picture. For example, a short video clip can create a huge wave of speculation, even if the context behind it is completely different. A photo posted online might appear to tell a story, but in reality, it could represent only a brief moment from a much larger situation. That possibility led some fans to step back and question whether the online narrative had become too exaggerated. After all, none of the three people involved had given a detailed explanation about every aspect of their personal lives. Without that information, the public was essentially trying to solve a puzzle with missing pieces. Even so, the situation continued attracting attention. Whenever Claressa Shields appeared in an interview or posted something new online, viewers wondered whether she might address the rumors more directly. At the same time, fans of Remy Ma watched closely to see whether she would ever respond publicly to the ongoing discussions. And in the middle of all that speculation was Papoose, the person connecting both sides of the story. Some people believed he had handled the situation quietly and respectfully by avoiding public arguments. Others felt that the lack of clear answers only added to the confusion. The reality is that celebrity relationships often become much bigger stories than they were ever meant to be. Once the internet becomes involved, every small detail can turn into a headline. For Claressa Shields, the focus eventually returned to the place where she has always been strongest: her career. Training, competition, and preparing for future fights remained her main priorities. No matter what the internet says, stepping into the boxing ring requires discipline and focus that very few people possess. That part of her life continues moving forward, regardless of online speculation. Meanwhile, the conversations surrounding Papoose and Remy Ma also continue evolving. Their long history means that fans will probably keep discussing their relationship for years to come. At the end of the day, what the public sees is only part of the story. The real truth about what happened between Claressa Shields, Papoose, and Remy Ma may involve private conversations, personal decisions, and emotional complexities that never make it onto social media. But one thing is certain: this situation showed how quickly a personal relationship can become a global discussion when fame, history, and the power of the internet all collide at the same time. And until the people involved decide to fully explain their side of the story, the debate will likely continue, with fans trying to piece together clues while the real answers remain somewhere behind the scenes. Before we wrap this up, there's one thing about this situation that people online keep debating. Stories involving Claressa Shields, Papoose, and Remy Ma always bring strong opinions from every side. Some people believe Claressa Shields genuinely believed in the relationship, while others think Papoose never fully closed the chapter on his marriage with Remy Ma. And then there are fans who feel the internet simply turned a complicated personal situation into a much bigger drama than it actually is. But now we want to hear what you think. Do you believe Claressa Shields was truly played in this situation? Or do you think the entire story has been exaggerated by social media and gossip channels? And if Papoose and Remy Ma still share a strong history, do you think their story is really over? Or could there still be unfinished chapters between them? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because this conversation is definitely far from over. And if you enjoyed this breakdown and want more deep dives into trending celebrity stories, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next upload. Thanks for watching, And we'll see you in the next video.